I don't think anyone would believe what we are going to tell you now. Anyone. MrBeast show is not at all what it seems. It's not pure entertainment. MrBeast is an agent working for a dark, secret agency working for scientific institutions. The aim of the agency is to carry out experiments that no one would do because it would be considered a prohibited human experiment. But to understand the story, we have to go back in time to 1945.
The end of World War II marked a turning point for the world, but for many German scientists, it was also the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. As Allied forces swept through Germany, they encountered some of the most advanced technology and weaponry ever seen. This was largely thanks to the work of these scientists, who had been recruited and employed by the Nazi regime during the war. After the war, many of these scientists faced trials for their involvement in war crimes, but that was not the case for everybody. Some of the scientists found themselves at the center of a secret race between the United States and the Soviet Union for their expertise. One of the most well-known programs for recruiting Nazi scientists was Operation Paperclip. This top-secret program was led by the United States and aimed to bring over 1,500 German scientists, engineers, and technicians to work on military projects in America. While many of these individuals had been involved in war crimes, their knowledge and expertise were deemed too valuable to pass up. But who were those scientists?
We were the ones who gathered the German scientists. They could do terrible experiments that we couldn't do ourselves. But a lot of time has passed since then, and many of our German scientists have passed away. But the progress of science still requires human experiments. Working together with German scientists convinced us that we need to relax on human rights if we want to move forward. It really amuses me. A lot of it was actually my idea. Meanwhile, people believe that young people are the ones who move science forward. This agency has a very wide range of activities, much bigger than MrBeast. You can see some of its activities on the open street, like Waymo and Cruise in San Francisco. Isn't it strange that no one wants them to go on the streets, yet somehow they are there and no one in power cares? The young people lit one, but I want them out on the street. That's power. My German friends would be proud of me for that. But of course, most of our programs are secret.
We closed the debate about the need for experiments, but decided that the methods of German scientists should be combined with the American way. This is where MrBeast comes into play. We want some of these experiments to feel like fun. People should voluntarily cause themselves suffering, as if it were just the big adventure of their lives. If you want to hear a concrete example, I'll give you a vanilla-level example. Of course, it should be added that many MrBeast recordings are not made public and the applicants end up on the list of lost persons. So if I were you, I wouldn't be happy at all if you were invited to a recording. One of our biggest customers is NASA and Elon Musk. They want more data on how long periods of isolation affect people. NASA had a project for this, which ultimately ended in failure, and the researchers simply had to let people come out from isolation. But hey, what if we assign the whole project to MrBeast and people don't think of it as suffering, but as fun?
It is all part of a program to better prepare mankind for future missions to Mars. Jason Miles has a look inside.
Mars may be 145 million miles from Earth, but missions to the red planet could come as soon as the 2030s.
And so this is a really good insight to seeing if that's even possible.
That is CHAPEA, or Crew Health and Performance Exploration Analog.
It's an isolation and confinement mission for a year with a crew of 4.
4 astronaut-like paid volunteers will spend 12 full months in this 1,700 square feet habitat, which houses things like tiny bedrooms, a living space, an area to grow their own food, and a medical bay.
We actually are collecting a lot of biological samples throughout this mission to evaluate health.
This is video of the 3D printed structure taking shape inside a large warehouse. The crew will be monitored 24/7, performing simulated spacewalks and other activities. Only
Sound like suffering? Well, how about this instead?
I built a massive isolation chamber.
And we're gonna see if these two strangers can survive in this chamber for the next 100 days.
They have never met each other ever. Bailey, this is Susie. Susie, this is Bailey.
Nice to meet you.
Hi,
I'm Bailey.
nice to meet you.
If two of you can survive the next 100 days in here, I will give you the $500,000 inside of this vault. But if one of you leaves before the 100 days is up, you both get nothing. All right, I think you guys understand the rules. Have fun.
Okay, bye.
This is gonna be crazy.
Only 100 sleeps.
Only 100 sleeps.
And then the world will have just kept going. That's like what freaks me out.
The most interesting part of this experiment is that in this room, you have no idea what day or time it is. And already on night one, Susie and Bailey made the mistake of only sleeping for 2 hours. Which means they started their second day at 2:37.
What to do? I want to tell you about the Shop app. The Shop app is the best way to shop on your
Oh yeah, one of my last NASA/Elon Musk projects. One of the favorites. Let me ask you, isn't it strange that the whole structure is far from civilization and surrounded by watchtowers and an electric fence? And are they guarded by agents? Doesn't this whole building remind you of something? Let's say it's like a camp? Or is it not interesting that there are so many cameras on every square centimeter while only a 10-minute video of the whole thing comes out on the MrBeast channel? Oh, and how about the clip that you seem to be moving further and further away from the Earth? Just like traveling in a spaceship. Oh, of course it's not weird for you. Not even a little bit. They should be right there. Ha ha ha. A perfect combination of the German scientist and the American way. I want to say it for the record. Bailey and Susie are perfectly fine. But let's just say, they weren't the first participants. But you won't see a YouTube video about them, say, for at least another 100 years. But it can be like that. There are people who can handle confinement super well and make it through. NASA was very satisfied with the material we gave them. It wasn't 10 minutes or an hour, I'll tell you. But hey, it was all just for a YouTube video, wasn't it? My favorite thing to do is read the comments under the videos where they say how great MrBeast is, but it was actually all my idea. They really love an old fart. If we present ourselves to the world like this, let me tell you that it is a myth that the world is driven forward by youth. What drives it forward is old farts like me with the managed method of German scientist wave from the 40s. Because anyway, we would listen to people's cries, for example, that self-driving cars run over people en masse, they shouldn't be allowed on the street yet. Or if we cannot protect important systems from cyber attacks, why do we force everything to be digitized and online? Or that locking people up for months is rude. I prefer to leave out the really rough examples. We will also be able to manage the next world collapse this way. For the greater good, of course. Ha ha. Are you kidding? I moved forward because it is likely that people will not do anything even if they know this. Plus, yes, I want to shout to the world that it is not the young who are moving the world forward. Plus, if I wanted to laugh in the face of the world for once. While I ruled over people's fate like some kind of god, from the outside everyone saw just an ordinary nobody. I want people to know that they were wrong. I am a divine being.
You know, sweetie, that would be a tough ask for us. It's true that we lived in the dark as if we were just normal people, but we worked with people at the top of power like MrBeast or the Queen of England. They gave us all the recognition they could in the background while giving touching speeches about human rights in public.
I could travel the whole world. It was part of my missions. Not all projects have to be big. For example, a project can be an insignificant moment in a MrBeast video, like someone only gets a PS4 while everyone else gets a PS5. I'm not saying it happened, but just imagine the psychological horror you would have to go through. There are research departments that are interested in this, and we follow the entire lives of these people to see the psychological effect. Some want to know what it's like to be locked in a nuclear bunker for years. Some wants to know this. But since we mixed the method of German scientists with the American method, the whole thing can be a lot of fun for those who survive and can even become famous and rich. It's a win-win for those who survive. The American invention, suffering which is fun.
I just started this 10-minute timer, and when it hits 0, that room all the way over there full of money will explode. And the only man that can stop it is this man in this straitjacket. This video is completely real time. You'll notice it's exactly 10 minutes long. There are no cuts.
You know, I'll be completely honest, I miss those MrBeast videos when he just gave a lot of money to someone. But that was just bait for the crowd. You can't imagine how many sacrifices were made to put together this exactly 10-minute video. It even caused a suspicious spike in the statistics of disappeared persons. We decided not to do that again.
You want a lesson? Here's your lesson. Don't aspire to be a celebrity. Believe in hard work. Be a scientist. Scientists survive. We need young people to take our place. Be STEM student yourself. Especially if you're a woman. Because we need your imagination to invent torture things. And women are better at it.
This isn't predictable. This is adventure and making a difference. This is creativity and discovery. This is STEM. Explore more about STEM careers on smartfutures.ie.